under greater White House control. But, he said, we'll have to see if this is the right approach in the long run to make independent agencies more politically responsible. What the hell does that mean? Having a White House liaison at the SEC could potentially make an independent agency more politically responsible? How? I hate Reddit as much as the next person, but this is a really good summary of the order. I don't want to like be one of those guys, but Reddit's probably the single best social media site because it's possible for subreddits to operate more or less autonomously without being completely hit the right. Like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are just Nazi sites, you know? There are plenty of subreddits that are just like kind of the same as they were a decade ago, more or less. You know? I know it's soy, but like life is soy now. Get woke, motherfucker. You're drinking soy. What, you think you're going to be drinking meat with RFK Jr. as the Department Secretary of Health and Human Services? You insane? Dark soy. Let's take a look at this Reddit summary. Oh, they've got like emojis. Okay. I can follow this. I'm capable of following this. All federal agencies subject to direct White House control. Regulations cannot be issued without presidential approval. The Office of Management and Budget can now withhold funding from any independent agency if they don't align with White House priorities. All federal employees must follow the President's and Attorney General's interpretation of the law, eliminating legal independence. A White House liaison is to be installed in every independent regulatory agency to enforce direct presidential control. Biggest power grab in U.S. history. Yeah. This endepends the concept of an independent regulatory agency, dismantling one of the last barriers to absolute executive power. Erases the restraints on executive power, no longer operates with checks and balances. Regulations and laws are now dictated solely by the president. No longer a democratic republic. I don't want to be hyperbolic, but it's kind of true. Trump and Elon have been like directly questioning the ability for the judiciary to interpret the laws set forward by Congress, and also they have been both writing executive orders that overlap with congressional authority and enforcing them. So we kind of are in the unitary executive theory era. Stock market is now subject to White House control, enabling insider trading, favoritism, targeting of political opponents. Antitrust laws can be selectively enforced. You guys ready for the most annoying people in chat and in like on Twitter to be like, not a democracy? As if it was before. Wow, thank you. Allowing administration-friendly monopolies to expand unchecked. Political opponents in the tech center, media, finance can be targeted with regulatory action while allies are protected. Elections are now influenced by direct White House oversight of the FEC. The FDA, EPA, and consumer protection agencies are fully politicized. Drug approvals, food safety regulations, and environmental policies can be rewritten for political or corporate interests. Climate change regulations can be erased overnight. Scientific research is now subject to White House approval before public release. Yeah, that all sounds about right. Wow, America isn't a democracy. My teachers were lying. Well, it was. This kind of does it in, though. Like, this one specifically. Like, I'm actually demarking this one itself this kind of does it in. A little bit, you know? Unfortunately, there's just no system that can survive being taken over by fascists. They've already done a ton of shit that's against the law. You know? Like, it's not like they've been cleverly taking advantage of legal loopholes. They've just been doing whatever they want. How do you do this in 1 month? I mean, Hitler did it. Happens all the time. Maybe not all the time, but like, you know. Other countries looking at America, first time. South Korea looking at America, first time. Spain looking at America, first time. Greece looking at America, first time. Italy looking at America, first time. Germany looking at America, first time. You know. It's the first time that it could feasibly be the last man. The last time, though. Nothing ever ends. So is it even possible to win so hard they can't rig it? No. If they want to rig it infinitely, they can. But there are upper caps on this, you know? So, like, what if voting is impossible? Okay, come on, guys. We've done this talk before. Okay? Laws are just legal pretext for assigning the authority of the state to whoever has, like, the rules written on their side, okay? There's nothing divine or innate about them. Okay, we're talking about power here, not about law. And while a lot of power is concentrated in the government, all power stems from the people. There is no power independent from the people. Okay, no matter what, in every government, everywhere in the world, all power is ultimately dependent upon the compliance, acceptance, or defeat of the people. And I maintain everything that I've said. You know, I just don't think America can survive the austerity that true fascism would bring. You know, I think the worst case scenario might be for us. I mean, the worst case scenario might be that Trump really doesn't do the tariffs and the economy remains more or less stable because they clamp down on the stock market. They prevent any big crashes in the future by more or less like enabling like very specific regulatory action. And as a consequence, things just get worse forever. Or not forever, but for a long time, you know? Which is why I'm an accelerationist in this specific instance, you know? You kind of need to snap out of it. We need to rip the Band-Aid off now, is what you're saying? Well, we need to foment public unrest and discontent, basically. That's the gist of it. That's the important part, yeah. Would mass strikes dethrone them? Okay, you're pissing me off, folks. And I know it's not your fault. Not all of us can be really cool live streamers, you know? Uh, this isn't about dethroning. It's not about any specific action, okay? It's about material conditions. Material conditions. If the power of any dictatorship is built on the willfulness of the public, then you have to ask, what degree of unwillfulness is necessary to begin dismantling things? This has happened in every authoritarian government in history, except for the ones that are still ongoing. And in the ones that are still ongoing, they have to manage it aggressively. Look at what goes on in Belarus. Look at what goes on in Hungary. Look at what goes on in Turkey. Look at what goes on in Russia. Look at what goes on in Georgia. Look at what goes on in, I don't know, Uzbekistan, okay? Look at what goes on in Iran. It's hard to talk about North Korea because we don't get a lot of information out of there. But Iran, China? Yeah. Except those times they weren't the richest country to ever exist with nuclear weapons. Shut your damn mouth, okay? Russia and China both have nuclear weapons. Does Turkey have nuclear weapons, or did they just have nuclear weapons during the Cold War? I don't think they have them. Does Turkey have nukes? No. Okay. Sorry. India and Pakistan have nukes, okay? They're not exactly robust democracies. Anyway, what I'm saying basically is don't be a pussy, okay? Even these authoritarian governments, okay? They have to kowtow to the whims of the people. It's a balancing act, all right? We're not talking about one set of authoritarians. We're talking about an incredibly complicated dynamic, an intricate, tapestry of dialectics where you have power and counterpower resolving themselves through, action, inaction sometimes. It's a big dance, and we're all on the dance floor, okay? I know some of you socially anxious motherfuckers, you think you're not on the dance floor. You are on the dance floor, okay? The chairs in the back, that's the dance floor too. You're just in the chair on the dance floor. And all your friends are embarrassed by you because you won't get up there and dance. We need to dance. As powerful as the Chinese Communist Party is, they have worked for decades to placate the unrest of their population. That placating is predicated largely on the fact that they have legitimately improved the quality of life of most middle-class Chinese people. Hundreds of millions of people. With Iran, there's a lot at play. Iran is not that bad of a country to live in, depending on where in Iran you are. It's not fully destitute. It's not like Afghanistan or Iraq or whatever. And at the same time, there have been degrees of capitulation from the radical Islamist government towards their more agnostic population. That is to say, Iran's government is run militantly Islamically, but their population doesn't necessarily act like it. In Saudi Arabia, their government is insincerely religious, but out of practicality, they lean it back for tourists because they want Western investment. In Iran, their government is sincerely religious. They roll it back because they knew that if they applied all of these standards full force, the people would revolt. So with all of this, okay, just don't with the, what do we need to do to get out of this? I don't know, man. Learn how to garden. Don't annoy me. You're annoying. You're tiresome. I get asked this question a lot, man. People need to be discontented. People need to be upset. So what can you do? Discontent people. There is absolutely no way the clowns that are currently running our executive branch are competent enough to not fuck this up. They are going to make mistakes. They are going to break this country in ways that are beneficial to essentially no one except for like 5 guys. And it doesn't matter how well they control the media, because people are, Americans especially, entitled and conscious of their own living conditions. They will cut back on the Medicare, the Medicaid,